how do you get the word out about your organization?
Um, so I think I probably already talked a little bit about how we, make ourselves known. And a lot of it is just showing up, just showing up, being present. I sit in some advisory boards. We try to build relationships and to have communication, regular communication with, the courts and law enforcement and partner agencies, things, because the thing about the services that the Y provides is that they intersect in many ways, and the Y has, the sexual assault program, we have Safe Choice, there's ILS, there's CASA, there's the Y Scares, there's a lot of different portions that serve, or a lot of different departments that serve different portions of the community. But then, we also acknowledge that life is complex. It has a lot of intersections. And so somehow things will overlap. And so for us means to be present. And, when there are things that need to be addressed and that we need to look at, whether it's policy, laws, procedures, services, gap in services, and all of these, having that rapport and having a relationship and again, just being present makes things a lot easier. And, when, like for myself, if I'm trying to interact with somebody that I have never interacted with, and that might be a person or an agency, is sometimes easier to say, hey, you work with such and such, right? And they're like, oh yeah, we worked with them in the past. Would you mind doing a form handoff? And sometimes it's that email that says, hey, this is my name. I'm working with such and such. I think that, you have a lot in common and there is this kind of work that this person wants to do. And I think that you might be a good resource. And so that's how we build a lot of our partnerships, and, just brainstorming and saying, hey, I have this project and there's these things that are not happening and we want to create something that addresses these needs. And I know that you're a rock star at it, like, can we get together and make something up? And that's more or less how we do it. We go to events and we do a lot of tabling, or what used to pre-COVID, we a lot of the tabling and going to schools. We have a prevention specialist at Safe Choice that works with teens. And so that's a sexual assault program. They also work with teens, and they were working in high schools as well. And I think prevention, that's like from 11 to 18 years old. And there's like the Where We Grow program. There's advocates. There used to be advocates sometimes in the schools working with the teens as well, and working with the parents as well. So I don't know, I don't think there's a method to it other than, just kind of like trying different things and just like poking, knocking on doors, and just pretty much, yeah.
I'll have to second being present, because I feel like that's such an important part of getting the word about your organization out there, is you have to show up. And not only do you have to show up, you have to be excited about what you're working on. You have to have enthusiasm about what you're working on. No one's going to want to partner with you if you're like, oh yeah, it's not really a big deal, I just kind of do this thing, it's whatever. You have to be really passionate about it and really want to do it. But yeah, I think that's key really to anything, is showing up. Pre-COVID, when it was safe, like Anna said, tabling is like whenever there is an event, you sign up to have a table at that event and you talk to everyone that walks past your table. You put brochures out, you put like little flyers out. Now it's a lot of, with both the Free Clinic and LULAC, it's a lot of Facebook posts, a lot of Instagram posts, really using social media to your benefit, because it's such a useful tool for anything, really. That's where everyone is right now, especially right now that we're all in lockdown. It's where everyone is going to talk to their friends, to talk to their family. And if their family or friend has a mutual friend and they can see your post, well, that's fantastic. You touch so many people through social media, especially with these things. And if you ask your friends to share it and they share it and each of those people share it, it really helps get it out. It's almost like free advertising at that point. And then other than that, obviously the Latinx community is a lot of word of mouth. Is just, oh, my comadre told me about this program, and they help people do this, or they help with this kind of service, or, oh, if you don't have money, it's okay, it's really cheap, or they help you get scholarships, or they help you with financial aid, or they'll help you connect with a resource that can help you. Like, that word of mouth is so nice, because it's different to receive something from a flyer that some random person gave you, and then to have someone that you trust, that you connect with on a daily basis, say they tried the service and it works. That's really what gets people to trust you, because in the undocumented community, you just never know, especially when going after a service like a community service. You're always a little skeptical of like, oh, I don't know if they're going to share my information. I don't want this to reflect negatively on me if I end up wanting to or being able to apply for citizenship. That's a really common one, is like, will this hurt my chances of getting a citizenship because I'm using this service? And so having someone that they know, that they can say, oh no, I did it and it's perfectly fine, they don't do anything like that, that's amazing. So I think those are the big few. if piggybacking off of what Anna said, but also adding a little bit, that's all what I do in all of my organizations. Oh, and just making sure all of the stuff is in Spanish too, and other languages, because that's really important as well.
All right. Well, I don't think I have to say anything different. Maybe just a different spin. I think relationships matter, right? And those drive change and drive people to do things. So if we're present in the community and people are having good experiences at club, word of mouth, a friend bringing a friend to club, so it's on the kid side, the teen side, a family member hearing that we've got a program at Washington Elementary, and saying, I'm right there in that community. I'd say the other piece is we try to build in as well, or it's kind of through schools. I remember maybe 10 years ago or so, maybe actually probably more now, maybe close to 13 or so years ago, I was an assistant club director at a club, and I would go to MEChA Elementary for their lunches, and I'd play soccer and hand out like little hey, free day pass to club cards, right? And one of my favorite memories, I was dressed a little different one day. I had like a meeting that was supposed to be a little more formal, not super formal. I played some soccer. I couldn't stop because the ball was there, and I like chasing the ball. And it was a little muddy, and I took a little spill. Kids had a good laugh. I went home, changed. At that time, didn't have too many other choices for what to wear, so figured it out for the rest of the day. But it's about being present. I think that's for most things, presence and relationship. That's where you want to focus, right? And that's where we try to focus our time. I'm old and I don't like Instagram and Facebook. I do partake in the Twitter machine. That's not, others in our organization do that well, right? So